Thank you for having me. My name is Shantrell Simmons, and I am out of Miami, Florida. Currently living in Pompano Beach, Florida. I want to talk about who knew. A lot of times you go through things in life and you never know why you're going through it, but my segment is titled Who Knew? I want to basically just say that I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a full time caregiver, a full time employee, and I'm also a business owner. So I stay busy and I stay on the go. So let me give you a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Miami-Dade County. I attended the public schools, graduated from the home of the Chiefs, Miami Care City. Yes. Um, Upon completion of high school, I immediately did not go to college, even though my parents thought that I should. I had this young man in my life that I felt that I was madly in love with, so I did not go to school. Instead, I chose to move in with him, and what comes with that? Babies. So, yes, at 19, 20, I had my first child. Everything was fine and dandy, and 6 months later, here comes another baby. I'm like, oh, no, I can't continue to do this. So after I gave birth to my second child, I experienced a great deal of postpartum depression. And I know a lot of women go through that, whether it be their first, second, or fifth child, you do experience some point of postpartum depression. At this point in my life, I was physically, mentally, and socially drained. Raising two kids, father being on the road as a truck driver, everything fell into my lap, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. I became just drained emotionally, and I distanced and disassociated and disconnected from the world, from my family, and from my friends. And I want to say that when I did that, that depression set in more, um, to the point that I sometimes I didn't even recognize myself. It was not until one evening my kid's father came home and we got into this big argument. It was never physical, it was always verbal. But my neighbors thought it was something that they thought attention needed to be drawn. So they called the police. And the police showed up, and lo and behold, I blew up again because I was already, again, physically, mentally, and socially drained to the point that at the end of their visit, I ended up in the hospital as a Baker Act patient. Who knew? Me taking care of my kids all day long, I exploded, blew up, ended up Baker Act. Come to find out while during my stay at the hospital as being Baker Act, my chemistry was off balance because, again, who knew? I was pregnant for the third time. And I was like, Lord, why? Why me? I said to myself, I can't do this. I can't do this. So the social worker in the hospital actually got me some assistance. When I was discharged, I was guided with daycare assistance, food assistance, job assistance, things that I was saw too much pride in myself to go out and seek on my own. So I went ahead and I got my kids enrolled in school, and with a basic high school diploma, I went out and started looking for jobs. And, basically with a minimum high school diploma, you're not going to get much, but you're going to get something. So I took what I could. And as I started to work and work and work, I say, Lord, this is not working for me. I need more. So one day I was at work and I saw the ad for a college fair. I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to go back to school. 3 kids. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So I went to school, talked to the advisor. She said, we could work this out for you. I registered, applied for my financial aid, enrolled, and here I was in school. 2.5 years later, I graduated from Broward College in Pembroke Pines, Florida, with my associate's degree in science with criminal justice. I transferred to Florida Atlantic University and received my bachelor's in criminal justice. I waited about a year before I went back to school, and I went back and I obtained my master's from South University in criminal justice. So I was like, okay, I can do this. Full-time employee, full-time mom, and a student. I can do this. So I pursued another career, and I ended up working for the school board. And that kind of like worked for me because I was on the same schedule as my kids as they being in school. So when they was out, I was out. So they eliminated the daycare, and I saw myself and I saw my life getting a little bit better. So back in 2004, I met this young man, not my kid's father. We dated for 5 years and we decided to get married. So we went through the marriage counseling, and, at my pastor's request, she said, well, you guys need to get a clean bill of health because you want to go into this with sickness and health, good sickness and good health. We went and got our medical records done and got our clean bill of health. And who knew I was diagnosed with breast cancer? And I said, Lord, why me? Once again, and I know I grew up in the church. You're not supposed to question. But I said, why me? Everything I went through, why me? I never got my answer. But my husband, my fiance then, which is now my husband, said, we're going to carry on. This is not going to stop anything. So we went and I did what I had to do and took care of what I needed to take care of. And things was on the rise. I was cleared, clean bill of health, got married, and we was on our way. That was in 2009. We got married in 2009. 2016, we decided as a family now to buy a home. So we purchased our first home in December of 2016. My husband was the breadwinner, so he had the funds, but I had the credit. We purchased our first home. We enjoyed it. We spent Christmas there. And 4 months into our new home ownership, April of 2017, who knew my husband's health would take a turn for the worse? He was driving one day and lost complete sight. Took him to the eye doctor. They said he's legally blind. I'm like, okay, but he was just driving. How? They rushed him to the hospital. They thought he had a minor stroke, which is a TIA. Nope, he didn't have a stroke. He had a mass on his brain. Scheduled him for surgery. He had not one, he had but 2 brain surgeries. Following the brain surgeries, who knew he would become totally disabled and legally blind? So I'm saying to myself again, why, Lord? We only been in our house 6 months. He was the breadwinner. I was the credit person. I didn't know how we was going to maintain this house. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and something just fell in my lap and says, you have your notary commission. Let's do loan signing. I say, loan signing? And I opened up my computer one day and the ad was there. I researched it. I took the test, became a certified loan signing agent. That was in 2018. From 2018, I said, okay, I'm going to form a business in this because it was good. It was good money. And during that time, 2019, COVID hit. So a lot of people were losing their homes or losing their income, and they needed loan modifications or refinances. So a lot of places that have notaries were closing. So who did they need? Mobile notaries as myself. So I put together a plan, a website, and here I was being advertised as a mobile notary that could come into your house despite your situation and process your paperwork so that you could stay in your home. And that was a passion for me because I almost lost my home due to my husband getting sick, and I had nowhere to turn. So I started doing that, and it became a real great business for me. And I had been a notary since 2004, but I was just doing notarizations for community events like the football optimist clubs or people that need living wills, trusts, estate plannings, and things of that nature. So this took my notary business into another level. where I was able to become certified in the state of Florida as a woman minority business. I was able to become certified with the Small Business Administrator as the economic disadvantaged woman owned small business. I was able to become certified as a Black owned business by the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. So I have obtained all these certifications, not knowing that this was possible when I first obtained my notarization commission in 2004. So again, who knew the possibilities of all this coming about just because I had to dig deeper within myself to find something that could supplement my husband's income when he became sick and unable to care for the home. I was the one now to be the person to take charge, pay the bills, make sure everything is taken care of. And not only that, now I had to become his caregiver. Who knew I was going to become in the medical field now because I had no experience? I have to give my husband shots. I have to take his blood pressure. I have to check his sugars. Who knew I would be doing all this? Didn't. I could not foresee this coming, not a day in my life. But I'm glad that I was able to stand through it all, go back to my biblical teachings, go back to my Christian faiths and principles and say, Lord, I put all my trust in you, for you will not give me no more than I can bear. So I turned that situation into a who knew, because I was at my lowest. Who knew I would be now a business owner, an entrepreneur, a business consultant, helping other women build their stuff up, build their brand up, build their business up where they can establish business credit, be able to level their business so that they have business opportunities. Who knew I would be in that position? So I take this as a learning experience, and I'm now talking to other women to let them know, hey, you may start depressed, burnt out, drained, but those are all experiences that you could build upon to become something bigger and greater in life. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank SpeakUpSis for allowing me to speak up with my situation and my circumstances, then hoping I can help someone else in their situations. Feel free to reach out to me. I am the owner of Blue Ink Signatures down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I have an 800 number. I have a website, and I am be more than happy to talk to anyone to encourage, inspire another sister that may be dealing with financial issues, marital issues, health issues. You're not alone. There's someone out there that has had those challenges, and I am one, and I can speak to you. Thank you.